Hello and welcome to Vkind Connects. I'm your host, Shabnam Islam. And joining me today is a very special guest, Chris Kolodziejski. Now, Chris is the CEO and founder of Mosaic Distributors and the creator of Chella Beauty. Chris, it is so great to have you. I'm just giggling because I absolutely adore this man. So it's hard for me to hide my excitement to have you here. Finally. And I'm wearing my Peeled shirt because my first exposure to you was at our Peeled event.
Which was magnificent, and you were incredible. And I can't believe that as that night transpired, to end up meeting you and then have dinner with you and become friends with you. And it's just been, I am just as excited and honored to be on your show. And congrats for everything that you are doing to bring awareness to this so important cause and everything that Vkind is doing. You guys rock.
Oh my God, we love you. We absolutely adore you. And by the way, happy belated birthday. So we've got a lot of things to talk and celebrate today on today's show. But what I really want to talk about is this huge gap from you being this NFL pro tight end for the Pittsburg Steelers to now creating this iconic brand, Chella Beauty. So what happened between then and then? How did that transference occur? Mind sharing?
Wow. Great question. It's a long story. I'll try to make it short, but kind of as Chef Bobette would say, I'm just going to start at the beginning, right? So I think it started for me with intention. I was in the third grade. I set this intention. I want to play pro football. I told my dad that. So when you bring something to life, you gotta state it, write it down, proclaim it, share it with a friend. So I did that. And then I went out for football in the third grade. Pop Warner put on this uniform, and I had this moment of transformation, kind of magical kid thinking where, oh yeah, I got this uniform on. I can't get hurt. I kind of felt like Superman. Actually, what I felt like, until you get hit and knocked down, you realize it's just pads. You're going to get knocked out. And then the manifestation was after the transformation, I kept telling myself, I'm going to play pro football. I'm going to do it. And I set my life up to achieve that goal. And lo and behold, I was blessed not to get hurt, as a lot of guys do on that journey, and ended up playing for the Steelers. So how do you go, to answer your question, Steelers to cosmetics? And I tell most people it's a straight line, isn't it?
Yeah.
Football to cosmetics. And they're like, no, that doesn't make any sense. During that time of growing up, my parents got divorced. It was amicable. And we stayed together for family celebrations, but I watched my mom as a single mom, 2 kids in an apartment, working 2 jobs, and it wasn't happening for her the way she wanted it. And she said, I'm going to set an intention. I'm going to get some more education. I'm going to do this, and I'm going to choose a different path. She did that, and 10 years later, she retired and never had to work again. So there was this subconscious driver that was planted about empowerment and what's possible for men or women, but particularly in her case, what she was able to accomplish in a male-dominated world. She was a commercial real estate developer of shopping centers, and back in the 70s, there was not one woman in the U.S. doing that. She was literally the first. So I think the subconscious driver was that as I started to grow and do these different businesses, I was drawn to originally cosmetics as skincare, but I saw the power of transformation that occurred. And I mean, share with me, Shabnam, what was it like the first time you put on makeup or lipstick and said, oh my God, I'm really beautiful? How did that make you feel?
I loved it. And, my mom always had this message, we're Bangladeshi, and she would always say, never leave the house without lipstick. You don't need much else, but just, so that was ingrained in me as a child, that, you just kind of put yourself together. It just lets you feel brighter. It's been part of a staple in my household for a long time. So to me, it feels like makeup feels like.
Yeah. Yeah, thank you for sharing that. And I think what's shifted is now, thanks to the Kardashians and Anastasia and some other real powerful, incredible women, you don't leave your house without your brows on. So that's really the impetus of Chella, is that we want you to feel empowered. We want you to feel your best self. We want you to understand that you can set an intention, manifest, and transform yourself. And if makeup can be that bridge, like football gear was for me, if that can be the bridge for women, or guys, whoever is wearing our makeup, we're obviously open to everybody who wears it. We want to participate in that. And what I found, we've done a lot of deep dive talks with our customers to try to find out who they are and what they're about. And they have a fear of connecting because a lot of them are very professional, powerful women that are in front of audiences, and they have this fear. So they want to connect authentically to make a difference. And they don't want makeup to get in the way. They want to be natural, to a natural enhanced look, because if they're overdone or too made up, then they're not going to connect. And I have such a powerful story to share with you about how I witnessed that at your Peeled event that you were hosting, because two women shared that very exact story about how they wanted to connect to make a difference.
You know, what I really love about Chella Beauty and what you're doing here is you talk about how it's for everybody. And I, as a person of color, I feel like I've grown up and not always had the right products that accentuated what I wanted. And this is not a ploy, even though this is not just this is not a marketing tool, everybody. But what I am telling you is that everything that I am wearing is from Chella. From the lip wine pencil to the delightful brow eye cream, like you were talking about the brows. I have the whole brow kit set like this. I'm already out of the brow pencil, so like it's done. I use this whole thing up, so I have to get more Chella stuff. And then of course the blushing rose, as you guys can see, this is my go-to because for my skin tone,
unbelievable,
it is amazing. And so what I was really excited about was finally seeing a skincare line that was for everybody. It looks great on my lighter skin tone friends, on my Caucasian friends, on my Asian friends, and it also looks great on dark colored skin for brown and black people. And I think that is so important.
Yeah, we worked super, super hard on that. We now have 9 shades just to make sure, from a beautiful blonde all the way to an elegant ebony, and every shade in between. So we cover all the brows and all the skin tones and all the shades. And we have 6 different highlighter shades that we can match your skin tone perfectly, so that as you're working on your brows and your eyelids and everything, that we can really dial that in. And when I started the radio show, we were offline before, but my gosh, you look so stunning. Your eyes are incredible. That's our blushing rose palette.
I love
it. And we have an incredible influencer who happens to be black. That was our launch for that. And I'm going to share with you her details in a little bit, but she's an incredible, incredible woman, very powerful and very beautiful. And that was our very first co-brand ever. So her
my friend Anya Benton, it loves Chella.
Oh yeah.
And so I'm like, oh my God, we know the same people. This is amazing.
We love Anya. She's amazing.
And so
Chella Beauty.
Yeah, Chella Beauty.
Her handle is VELA Beauty. And, talk about providence and connection and energy and all that. How does Chella Beauty find Vela Beauty? Her name's Corey. She's beautiful and incredible. And, go check her out because she's got a lot of beautiful looks. But she would be so excited to see that you're wearing her blushing rose palette.
That's amazing. So I actually want to talk about like what else is coming out for you. Like, do you have anything else out on the market? Anything that I think you just had a new website drop for Chella?
Yeah, February 1st. Thank you so much. We just completely rebranded the Chella.com site to really match our packaging and our ethos about the personas that we want to empower. So these are, subsets of very powerful women that you can find yourself, and some guys find yourself in that persona and realize that, this is what we're about. So we're super excited about that. We're on R&D on a couple of products that I can't really share yet because they're too far out. It takes us about a year to go through the R&D to really nail a product. The thing that is so cool about our products is that when we do launch them, they're impeccable. You look at our reviews on Amazon and Chella.com and QVC, and we average somewhere between 4.3 to 4.8 across all of our products for reviews. So that's what makes me happy, is that we started with great products and then we have great customers, amazing customers. Some of this deep dive that we did to nail the brand, we were talking with customers that have bought with us 20, 30, 40, 50, 60 times over, a period of years. And that's so gratifying to know that, they're with us for that long haul and they love us, and we obviously love them. So that's been very cool.
And, the thing that I really also love about Chella is obviously it's part of the vegan community. It's cruelty free, doesn't test on animals. There's no animals were harmed in the making of these products. So why was that such an important vision for you and Chella?
Well, we started from the very beginning wanting to be super clean with our products. We got rid of parabens about 10 years ago, long before that was a thing. And as I saw these other things coming through, I just realized we want to be giving our customers what they want. I became plant-based, 90% vegan. I'm going to qualify that for health reasons, right? So, I want to talk to you a little bit because I know that you got that nutritionalist background in your repertoire of many things, but nutrition and what we eat is so critical to our health. So I look at the fork and go, it's either killing me or it's making me healthy. And I make my choices based on that. And I had been a pro athlete, for a long time and always thought I was taking care of my body and realized, in fact, I was killing myself with the food I was eating. And I got diabetes and I got high blood pressure and I got fatty liver disease and I got high cholesterol. Within 90 days, I went strictly 100% vegan for 90 days. Nothing touched my mouth that was animal made. And I reversed all of my numbers. So it was a cataclysmic kind of event for me because I got in control of my health. So now I'm 100% plant-based. Every now and then I'll cheat with a little salmon wild caught. But
you didn't hear that. You didn't hear that, everybody.
You didn't hear that,
like one ear out the other.
So,
Dr. Joel Fuhrman would call that his nutritarianism. Like less than 10% of your calories come from some sort of non-healthy source, to be realistic. So what we would like to say in the Vkind community is we really do hope that we invite people more over to the vegan side. So we're not giving you a hard time on your
no for sure. And I'm 99% of the way there. So that led me to realize, hey, the skin is an organ. It's our biggest organ.
That's
we
right.
got to take care of that. We got to be vegan. So we're 100% vegan across all of our products, cruelty free, really clean beauty that cares, because we really do. We live it and breathe it and eat it the right way. And then environmentally conscious. We joined Impact Collective so that we could become carbon and plastic neutral. And then near and dear to my heart, because it's been a part of folks in our family that have gone through and lived through, physical abuse and trauma. We give the Casa Pacifica out in Camarillo, which is a place for battered women and children. So those are the things that are really at our core, at our DNA, what's important to us.
So sustainability, supporting your community, really protecting women is at the forefront of Chella Beauty. And I think that is just a really wonderful thing that you guys are doing. So
yeah, thank you.
Is there any place that we can expect to see you this year? Like where can we find Chella Beauty? You got to be at some events. You got to be doing some collaborations. Tell me what's up.
I know this amazing speaker, and she's going to be at the Vkind Summit in May in New York, and we're exhibiting there. And I think I'm talking about Dr. Shabnam. So yeah. I got to break away from my booth to come listen to you.
Yeah, it's congrats fun. I'm excited about it. So You'll be a Vegan Women's Summit. Are you guys going to be at Natural Expo West by any chance?
No, we're not. I need to get to that show. We're going to be at Cosmoprof in North America, which is in Las Vegas. And then we do a special Live Love Spa event with the Live Love Spa folks, because we're in Ritz-Carlton and JW Marriott and some Four Seasons. We're in really high-end spas and salons, which we love being in, because we get to, do special services and treatments all about making you look beautiful in 60 seconds or less, because you fill in your brows, that's it, 60 seconds, and you're ready for the day. So that's kind of our the thing that we're bringing in as a spa enhancement to their services. So I want to share the story with you about watching you and Babette on Peel, because that was an extraordinary experience. Sarah and I were there. I met Chef Babette there, bumped into her before the premiere. And you know her. I see you all the time. She's an absolute riot.
I think she grabbed your chest hair.
He did, because I had one that was like out here, and she goes, "What are you doing here, sir?" So she's out of control, but I love her so much. But when they were interviewing the women chefs, and the 2 women and 1 guy, 3 of their stories, you only had 6 people cooking, right?
4.
Was it 4? 4. 3 of the 4 stories were around health, and the 1 guy had myeloma, and everybody that I know in the medical community, myeloma, you're dead in 10 years.
Yeah.
He was diagnosed 20 years ago.
Yeah.
What does that say about plant-based and vegan? And he said, I had to make the decision. That was 20. That's why it was tough. It's easy now. People gotta cheer you on.
And Chef Donald actually created Veggie Nation. So he's got a restaurant in Vegas. So when you are there, make sure you go check him out.
Yeah, I'll have to break away from Crossroads Kitchen to go check him out.
There's so much good vegan food in Vegas. It's disgusting.
Yeah, I love it. So I will definitely check him out. And then the 2 other ladies shared very intimate stories about cancer in their lives and how their choices of food have really changed their lives. So beautiful. Love that.
And so let's talk a little bit about your personal life, because you said you made that transition to veganism because you had varying health impacts, but you also have a big family, right? You have children. Did that change the way they were eating or change their perspective on food as well?
At times, they're 35, 32, 30, 24, 19. And so a couple of them have converted.
No.
And a couple of them are like, "You're crazy, Dad. I like my steak."
Yeah.
So it's a mixed bag, right?
Wow, that's amazing that you've gotten some of them to actually kind of take the red pill and exit out of the matrix.
Yeah.
Yeah,
exactly.
That's kind of...
I'm sorry to interrupt. Did you ever see What the Health?
Oh, of course I saw What the Health.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, exactly. So that's Sarah and I love to coach and mentor people. I had a friend of mine that I went back 5 years ago. This was 30 days after I began my journey, and my health had dramatically changed. I lost like 40 pounds in 30 days because my body I was in shape but not in shape at all. I was 40 pounds overweight. I went to see my buddy who I went to college with, and he was 6'9" and played at 300 pounds. He was a big boy. When I saw him, he was 6'8", the weight of the world had crushed him an inch, but he was 400 pounds. And he had to ride around in a golf cart. And his blood pressure was so bad that he had to have the measure tool in his office where he would take it every day in a Zoom call with his doctor, who would then dose him on today's dose, right? He is now 275 pounds. He lost 125 pounds, and I'm proud to say Sarah and I coached him all the way through that. He's off all of his meds, and his life has changed dramatically. And he literally, for about the first year, he'd call me up every year and say, "Chris, thank you. You saved my life," and then hang up on me. Anyway, yeah.
That's fantastic. And, I want to ask a little bit about your love story, because for those of you that don't know, Sarah Siegel is probably just one of the most beautiful human beings I've ever met. She's the director of sales at Chella Beauty, and she is the definition of what I think is the embodiment of Chella Beauty. And Chris snagged her up, as he should have. And they're just such a wonderful couple. But I would like to hear your story, how you two met, because, both now running this vegan company. How is it like to share that with your partner?
It's wonderful, and thank you for such kind, beautiful words. And I'm not going to argue with any of it. You nailed it. She's all of that and more. We met 9 years ago in about February 28th. It'll be 9 years on February 28th, and we met the old-fashioned way at a bar, this great restaurant bar called The Six, in Calabasas. And I wasn't a vegan, and obviously, because it's a steak chow house. and we met at the bar. I was sitting there with the owner. He and I become really good friends, and I'd go in like every Friday night, and we'd have dinner together at the end of the bar. And so she'll just blush when she hears me tell this on your podcast. She's down at the other end of the bar with 3 of her girlfriends, and they're hanging out, and they're very beautiful and having lots of fun. And everybody at the bar is buying them drinks. And my buddy, as we're eating this meal, he goes, "Hey man, that mom down there at the end of the bar, she's checking you out." I'm like, "Oh, you're so full of it. She's not checking me out." He's like, no, I do this for a living. This is my business. I could tell. So I'm like, all right, I'm going to bird dog her. I want to watch her. Right. So I'm like at the bar like this. And of course she pops her head, looks right at me, and then puts her head down. And I'm like, okay, you're right. Now, stage left, the flower girl comes in off the street. He's given the high side behind his head and sends her down to give all 4 ladies at the bar flowers. And of course they get them and they look directly at me. And I'm like, and I look at him, and of course he's laughing his ass off. He had sent the flowers. I said, now I got to go tell this lovely lady I didn't give her the flowers, but I should have. And that's how we met. So the rest is kind of history.
And so your transformation to veganism, even, combating your health, occurred while you guys were together. So did you both start this vegan plant-based journey together?
It's interesting. I had gone from eating whatever I wanted to, then I went to paleo, which I'm not an advocate for. It works for a while until it gives you fatty liver disease and starts really killing you, but it'll work for a while, which it did for me. And when I met her, she was a vegan, and I corrupted her and turned her into paleo. And then I got the health scare, and then I'm like, she found this book, How Not to Die, by Dr. Greger. I love Furman, I love Dr. Greger. Those guys are like my idols in terms of resource. And popped open the book, How to Cure Diabetes, Go Plant-Based Vegan. I'm doing that tomorrow morning. literally I started the next day.
Wow.
So then it was super easy because that was her natural state anyway. So she went back to it, and now I love vegan cooking, and we spend a lot of time cooking for each other. In fact, we're going to be cooking Valentine's Day. She's got a recipe and I got a recipe, and we're going to cook for each other. So we'd love to do that on the special days.
So tell me this, Chris, you're somebody
Yes.
so dynamic. You've done so many things. You have a beautiful family. You've had a trajectory in your career in so many different areas. What would you like your legacy to be?
Wow. Guess you're asking the tough ones. I want my legacy to be love.
And how are you going to show that? What are people going to see when you leave this earth? Are they going to see that through Chella Beauty?
Yeah, that, and then just it's so important, the interactions that we have with each other, to really be there and to let go of ego and judgment and just accept people where they're at in their journey, and just be able to support them as best you possibly can and provide that safe area for them. And sometimes that can be really hard. You know, I fail at that every day and then look back and go, gosh, I wish I would have done this better or that better. But yeah, that's such a powerful question. Thank you.
I think you are for me and for our viewers, I think you are the true definition of a man. You're somebody who wears your heart on your sleeve. You care about people you don't know, you care about the environment, you care about the animals, and you care about leading with love. And I think that is the antithesis of what we learned in terms of what it means of masculinity. And you're a former NFL football player. It doesn't get manlier than that. So
sure.
How do you now encourage future generations of men to lead with love?
Yeah, gosh. I think at the end of the day, all of us get so traumatized by whatever happened in our life to get us to the point that we're at, that we can stop and listen to ourselves and start then healing ourselves, right? So that we can then pour out. If we're not full of love and comfortable with our own self and our own skin and who we are, it's super hard to be loving and comforting to others, because you're kind of coming from this place of negative space. You don't have, you're doing it maybe out of some sense of obligation instead of just from your heart. And it's hard to get there because you got to break through all those barriers that hold us back to being authentic and vulnerable. And, you know, for a guy who used to play football, it is, you if you really want to be a complete man, you have to accept the femininity within yourself and others and embrace that female power. And that's really, I think, what it takes to be kind of complete in that regard. I don't know if that makes any sense, but for me, it's about the more that I let go of ego, the more my heart opens.
Absolutely. And I think that is the strongest message we can leave here with our Vkind community. And Chris, we thank you so much for your time.
What a treat. Thank you so much, Dr. Shab, and everything that you do and that Vkind does. And so looking forward to seeing you in May, hopefully sooner than that.
Well, that wraps up this edition of Vkind Connects with Chris Kolodziejski. I don't want to mess that up. And to see more of his updated website, please go to www.chella.com. And to watch this Vkind Connects episode and so more, go to vkindconnects.com. And thank you for tuning in.